All right, welcome back to the channel. So we are going to talk about Devin Haney, who is now back to where he should have been. The WBC champion of the lightweight champion of the world. And now he is in a absolutely wonderful position in 135 pounds. And there's going to be some people that I thought might be able to worm away from him that will not be able to do so. The WBC corrects what I believe to be a terrible decision, but it took a pandemic for them to do it. So let's talk about that in this video. All right, welcome back, man. So happy to be talking boxing this morning. We've got a bunch of subjects we're going to talk about today. As you guys know, we typically release these videos at 1:15, 3:15, 5:15, and 8:15 immediately after 78 Sports TV's live stream that he does in the evening. But we're going to talk about some really fun subjects today. A couple of them I'm going to be kind of angry subjects. But the first one, this is the first video that I'm doing. Not quite sure the order that we're going to put it in, but this is the first video that I'm actually going to do of the day. And this one, I have to say, is the emotion that I'm feeling is indifference to the WBC, but elation for Devin Haney. Now, Devin Haney is the WBC champion again after having been stripped of his title and moved to champion in recess because he had had surgery on his shoulder after his last fight. Can't remember what the name of the guy was, but essentially it was the fight where Devin Haney was given the belt because Vasily Lomachenko had requested to be elevated to the WBC franchise title. And so the WBC, ahead of Devin Haney's last fight, elevated Devin Haney from the mandatory position to the championship, to a championship position. And so he won the fight and he remained the champion. That's a kind of an unorthodox way to become champion, but it is what it is. It was a championship fight that was sanctioned by the WBC. He won the fight. He became champion. He had a shoulder surgery. I don't know if the injury happened in that fight or whether or not it happened, whether it was a chronic type of thing, like this terrible knee I got. It swells up every time I try to walk a little too quick, or jump side to side rather. And maybe it's just one. I'm not sure if it's an acute or injury or whether or not it's just something that's chronic. But regardless, he had the surgery, and the WBC asked him how long it would take for him to return from the injury. I don't know what the amount of time he gave was, but it couldn't have been that long since Devin Haney is now back training and everything from what I understand. But so they took the belt away and they were going to have Javier Fortuna fight Luke Campbell for that WBC belt. Now the WBC has backtracked on that, and this was given to, actually I was told about this in my live stream that I do in the mornings, but they forwarded me to it was Michael Benson out of the UK, who has a very, very good Twitter page, gives you a lot of good information. That he quoted Mauricio Sulaiman as having said that. So I think that move is a good move, but it is a shame that it took a pandemic to do it. Now, so the question is, why would they give him back? With this boxing being shut down, who knows when there's going to be a title defense to any of the belts, right? So you don't know when Errol Spence Jr. Versus Danny Garcia or Manny Pacquiao is going to fight. You don't know when Wilder or Canelo or anybody else is going to fight. So the whole idea that Devin Haney's injury is going to prevent him from returning in time to defend that title, all that just went out the window because boxing might be out until the end of the year. I certainly hope it is not. Is not going to be out. It's not going to be out on this channel or other channels are going to continue to talk boxing every day. But you don't know when it's going to come back. So, hey, man, I guess that just was about right for Devin Haney to petition them and for them to say, yeah, I can't get out of that argument because there isn't going to be any fight They reinstate him. Now, beautiful. I know you shouldn't have made any other decision. That was the only reasonable decision, in my opinion, for the WBC. If they had decided not to give it back, especially since, all of the fights are canceled, then that they just would have been way over the top on hating on Devin Haney, and that just would have been ridiculous. So great that he has it back. So what does that mean for the lightweight division? Well, for Devin Haney, it means a lot. There's been a lot of talk about him, who he was going to fight. He's going to fight Lomachenko, because Devin Haney is out there being very, very active. By the way, I should have said more about Devin Haney for people that are not familiar with Devin Haney, though most people that are going to watch this video are. Terrific young fighter, and is a danger, in my opinion, to beat anybody at 135 pounds. That includes the two other champions, Teofimo Lopez and Vasily Lomachenko. So this sets Devin Haney up for a fight between the winner, Devin Haney, and the winner of Teofimo Lopez versus Vasily Lomachenko. In theory, in actuality, I don't think it'll make any difference. Bob Arum said that Devin Haney was green and it wasn't a fair fight between him and Lomachenko when Devin Haney had the WBC belt. So had it before he got stripped of the WBC when he originally had it. So I can't see how that is going to shift anything at all with at least with Bob Arum. Now with Vasily Lomachenko himself, I do believe Vasily Lomachenko would fight Devin Haney, and I think he'd fight Devin Haney in a second. That's just my personal opinion, because I think, even though I don't necessarily like how hyped Vasily Lomachenko was, like in 2017, in 2018, in 2019, that kind of calmed down a little bit, man. People ain't really weren't really riding so hard for Vasily Lomachenko. That could have had something to do with the fact that he got dropped by Jorge Linares, and he went the distance with Luke Campbell, and he went the distance 2 more times at 135 pounds with Luke Campbell and Jose Pedraza. I always mix up Jorge Linares and Jose Pedraza. So if I did that at any point in time in this video, please excuse me. Both of those guys fought Vasily Lomachenko. Pedraza was the guy that knocked him out. Pedraza is the one that went the distance, and Linares is the one that knocked him down. Nobody ever knocked him out. The only guy that actually beat him was Orlando Salido. Now, anyway, I just do not believe that Bob Arum is going to be interested in taking that fight, but it sets him up nicely for fights with guys like Gervonta Davis and Gervonta Davis really being the big one, and Adrien Broner. Either one of those guys would be a good fight for Devin Haney, because now Devin Haney has a belt to offer. Adrien Broner, if there's any way on this planet he can get down to 135 pounds, could have an opportunity to fight for the WBC 135 pound championship against Devin Haney. That's a big fight, man. That's a big fight. That's a fight that I'm sure Adrien Broner would get amped up for, if he's able to make the weight. And that's a big money fight for both of those guys. Anything with Adrien Broner is a big money fight, and Adrien Broner can introduce Devin Haney to a much wider audience, because Adrien Broner, number one, is known by everybody in the boxing world, and number two, he's a great salesman. He's going to make the fight interesting. He's going to say a lot of stuff that's going to get quotes in papers. He's going to do a lot of stuff outside the ring that's going to bring attraction to it. And that would be the perfect launching pad for Devin Haney if Devin Haney can beat Adrien Broner. Now, I would definitely favor Devin Haney to beat Adrien Broner. There's always that chance out there. Adrien Broner has been at risk of losing a lot of fights, and people still bought him, even though they knew, Mikey Garcia is going to beat him or Sean Porter is going to beat him. But still, you're just really interested in to see the fight. The big thing, though, is Gervonta Davis, because Gervonta Davis doesn't really have a belt at 135 pounds. He has that WBA regular championship at 135 pounds, and that WBC, which is a favorite of Floyd Mayweather Jr., of the promoter of Gervonta Davis. That could be a nice fit for Gervonta Davis, man. and a fight that he could get done probably significantly easier than a fight with Lomachenko or Teofimo Lopez. But, you know, all in all, it's just a great situation for Devin Haney. Congratulations to Devin Haney and Bill Haney for pulling that off. And it puts him in again back in the excellent position that he was in before as a young champion. And shoot, man, what else can you ask for, man? Great. And compliments to the WBC for doing what was obviously right and correcting a mistake that they made that I believe was obviously wrong. Anyway, it is what it is. You let me know what you think in the comment section. And with that, I'm going to check you out on the next video. Peace.